Bienvenidos al taller del mago de los carros y hoy vamos a ver este Volkswagen Phaeton.
What? Anyways, let's get started. I have no idea what you just said, but thanks for opening the video.
¿Qué es eso, Wizard?
Huh?
¿Qué es esas manchas que tienes en el pantalón?
I don't know. I've been having a little fun today, I guess.
Ah, muy raro.
I hope he didn't say anything crazy about... Anyways, we're looking at this VW today. He's actually working on it, but we got a lot to go over. I'll let you go take a break, and we're going to dive into this VW. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
I have no idea what he just said. Hopefully it's not anything offensive. If so, you can let me know in the comments what he said. I thought it'd be a funny way to open the video, and it definitely was pretty cool. This is a 2004 VW Phaeton with a Bentley W12. Or is it the other way around? Does a Bentley have a VW W12? Does a Bentley have a VW engine in it? We're going to find out here in a little bit, but this thing has quite a lot of problems with it. Let's go ahead and take a look around this thing. Then we're going to dive in and show you guys what we found today. So here is the front of this VW Phaeton. It's basically an Audi A8, a VW, I'm not even sure what the VW model of this is, but I know it's an Audi A8 would have, actually it's an A8L. It's in pretty good condition, the paint is fair. It's a kind of a rare car. It's a VW that is very heavily blinged up. The interior you'll see when Mrs. Wizard show you guys around. There's a front wheel, and we'll show you something interesting with that here in a bit, but it's in good shape. As we go down this side, there's no dents or anything caved in. The paint, like I said, is fair. It's got some swirls and things going on here or there, but it's not too bad. You can see back here it denotes W12 Phaeton 6.0, which is the same engine you'd find in an 04 Bentley Continental GT. The lenses are all in good shape, and everything looks nice down this side as well. Let's go ahead and open the hood. So here we are with a big W12. The intake is different than what you would find on a Bentley. And I do not believe it has turbos like a Bentley. You can see that the air comes from the air filter straight into the intake, where a Bentley would have turbos on either side right here feeding into the plenum. So this is a naturally aspirated W12. Obviously it's not going to have as much power or torque, but it's still a very smooth running engine, except for this one has a problem. It has a misfire, it's running lean, and we're going to show you what we found once we get the smoke machine hooked up. W12s and really a lot of larger engines are on their way out. Manufacturers are going to much smaller V6s and 4-cylinders and getting the same power. This is made in a W configuration, just like this picture. You can see the cylinders are not in a line like you would normally think. They're staggered. That way you can squish the length of the block to be much shorter. You can fit 12 cylinders in the space of a V8 or even a V6. You can see it's not very long. It's kind of short and squatty. So let's go ahead and jump into the interior. It is way nicer than your average VW.
Okay, ladies and gents, this thing has 136,000 miles on it, so it has a fair amount, especially for being a German car. Let me go ahead and uncover the light there a little bit so we can see a little bit brighter view. Nice gauge cluster, lots and lots of gauges. You're going to see lots of gauges, lots of buttons on this little guy. The dash is in really good shape, and look at that. The mesh up there is in pristine condition. There's no cracks, no crevices, no holes, and that could definitely happen up there. Have lots of wood trim, a beautiful analog clock, which is working. And as I mentioned, there's some buttons, and some buttons, and some more buttons, and some more buttons. So yes, this has a lot going on. Being that this is an 04, we don't have a huge infotainment system, and we don't have any markings or anything to denote what those buttons on the side do, but obviously that would be on screen as well. But there's nothing scratched off. Everything is looking in really, really good condition. Gear selector, it has some wood trim in it as well, along with wrapped in leather. We like our hidey holes, and this one's an interesting one. One of them is functional and one of them is not. This is your cup holder, and something is not working, and this one isn't staying down, so it comes back up. So I guess only the driver gets to have a beverage in this car. We have camel colored leather seats that have nice ventilation in them. Looks quite nice. A little bolster on there. Got a nice headrest. As we go over to our door panel, we've got more of that camel leather with some really pretty wood trim. As we move to the back seat, you'll see that is, again, more camel leather. And as we slide down a little, you can see there's no rips or tears in that seat. And one of the great things as a mechanic we love to see is that binder full of service records, which helps us to determine where were they at and what were they doing in here. Look at that door card, more of the camel leather wood trim with a little bit of silver accents as well. You do note that the back window and the little triangle window both have sunshades along with the back deck as well. As we do move up, you'll see that the headliner is in really good shape and that the back passengers do get some lovely map lights as well. And as I said, there's some buttons and more buttons. And here's the only proof of a little bit of wear going on in here, and that is that button. Apparently the garage door 1 is being used the most, so that is where they park the car in garage 1. And so obviously after a few hundred times probably, it's gotten wore off. We're back to the steering wheel. But before I talk about the steering wheel, I want to slide over here real quick. That little guy, he's not quite a hidey hole. Well, he is in a way. That is hiding the vent. That little wood panel up here slides up and exposes the vent behind it. So that is pretty cool. And it does it to all of them. But the car has to be running to show that, and we're not going to start it because it makes it really hard for you guys to hear when we're talking. But we are back to the steering wheel. And again, some more buttons. But luckily there's not too many on here compared to everywhere else in the car. Just simple controls. So definitely not the Volkswagen we're used to seeing. This has definitely been, you know, a little blinged out. So enough of this interior talk. I'm really curious about what he was talking about with the wheels. Let's go find out.
So just as Mrs. Wizard showed you, we could spend 2 hours going through all the features of the interior of this car. It's set up like really, really nice, almost like a Bentley. There are so many shades, sunshades and sensors and features and buttons. It's just so much it could do. It's really cool. So we're going to start off showing what's wrong with this Phaeton. I'm going to back up and pull forward. I'm going to show you something I think the customer is already aware of. There were some spare parts in the floorboard, some control arms, but the front wheels are pretty dangerous. So let me get in and show you what they do. Definitely some looseness in the front end. Let's go ahead and move this thing over to the lift. So we do have the belly pan off of this, checking for leaks. One of the complaints was leaks. And you can see that they've packed a ton of things into a small space. Here's a large stacked cooler here with lines going to it. There's our windshield washer. There's some sort of a cooler there with hoses going to it. There's a sideways oil pan. Normally we think of an oil pan going this way. This one goes sideways. Here's a power steering pump, and above that's an AC compressor. Everything on the front of the engine looks nice and dry. And you can see, if you were going to do a serpentine belt on this car, it would not be from up above. You would actually need to get on the ground and change the belt. It's from below you can get to everything. Not much leaking going on there. Again, there's some more coolers and things going on inside of there. We'll go ahead and check this wheel here. Front brakes are good, about 50% remaining. The strut is dry. This does have all-wheel drive, so it has CV shafts. We can see this control arm here, the bushing is completely destroyed. That's why it's flopping back and forth up inside of there. And we do have this boot right here. Probably just needs the clamp tightened, but it's slinging grease everywhere. It's not that it needs a new CV shaft, it just needs that clamp tightened up. We do have a leak coming from this transmission connector, which we'll probably just do a service with filter fluid, have the pan off, pull this connector apart, replace the O-rings, and put it all back together. That should solve the leak going on here. One thing that's really interesting before we move over to the other wheel is that the way they have this engine package oriented is really cool. So here's the bell housing. This is the end of the engine right here. Normally we would think that that would be back here, but it is not. It is way up here. The end of the engine, the back end, is still ahead of the center of the front wheels. So literally the engine is hanging forward in front of the front wheels. It's very interesting how that works. You can see here's the transmission or the transaxle, and here's our bell housing. Go ahead and move over to here. Brakes are good. Strut is good. Nothing loose there, but again, the sway bar links are bad. There's all this oily mess here. It's again coming from our CV boot. It needs a new clamp, or at least tightened. Clean the mess up and tighten up the clamp. It'll probably be okay. We may have to add some grease, kind of open up the boot a little bit and inject some grease, but it's doing okay for now. There's our transmission. Everything's dry around here, except for that. That looks like maybe a transmission rear seal or something. We'll have to take a look and see what's going on there. So for the most part, this car is true dual exhaust, all the way back to kind of like an X-pipe right here. And it goes into a resonator and comes out duals again. Here's our fuel tanks. So we're straddled over a left. Actually, I have that backwards. Left and right. There's our drive shaft. Everything's looking good there. Here's our air-cooled differential with nice aluminum air fins on it. Let's go ahead and check these out. CV boots are good. Strut is good. Luckily nothing loose on that one. Brakes are they have about 30-40% remaining, not a whole lot. And sway bar link is good. CV boots are good. The strut is dry. Sway bar link is good. Nothing really loose there. And the brakes have about 30-40% remaining in the back as well. There's our little ride height sensors. Everything's intact there. Everything looks good. Exhaust is good. Let's go ahead and check these tire date codes. So it has fairly new tires on it, the 42nd week of 2022. So they're less than 6 months old, or right around there. So nice new tires. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground. Continue on with our diagnosis. One of the things the customer complains about is the check engine light is on and it runs kind of a little rough. It has some codes for running lean. So what we're going to do is smoke test the intake. We actually already found what's wrong. We want to show you guys what we found. Let's go ahead and get that thing turned on, Daniel.
Mira, Wizard, tiene un escape de aire. Puedes ver el humo saliendo.
No español. English, por favor.
You got an air leak. Look at the smoke coming out.
Oh, there we go. This is a PCV system on the front of this engine. It's corrugated plastic tubing and it's got cracks like the surface of the moon. Or maybe the surface of the moon actually has craters. I take that back, but it's pretty bad. You can see that it's just smoking away. And if smoke's coming out, that means air's going in, unchecked air, and the computer can see all of that. The computer says, I don't like what I'm seeing, it's running lean, and that's why. Well, Daniel, this kind of reminds me of my days in the Army, in the barracks. There was some hits from the bong going on pretty heavy on the weekends.
Well, I don't know any of this stuff, so.
Oh, you don't?
Nope, I don't.
I never partook of it, but I definitely saw it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Army. Anyways, let's go ahead and get all this unhooked. So here we are with achy breaky plastic. BMW is the worst offender in that arena. If you even touch anything under the hood of an older BMW, you can expect to see similar results all the plastic vacuum hoses and lines and PCV things will just crumble like old sand. It crumbles into sand, I should say. This is one of those instances as well that you read the codes and it says bank 1 and bank 2 lean condition. That tells you nothing about what's wrong. That's where having an experienced technician comes into play. I've worked on so many cars in the years past where someone goes to their local auto parts store, gets them to read the codes, and they think, oh, it's probably this or that, an oxygen sensor. They throw it on, they do the parts cannon, it solves nothing. Here at Omega, we do not do the parts cannon, we do the diagnostic cannon. We get all of our diagnostic tools and throw those at the problem, not parts. And usually, 99% of the time, we find the answer, just like we did here. The PCV system is leaking very, very badly. Because this thing is running rough, based on the vacuum leak that it has that you just saw, it could be easy to think coils could be bad, and this thing has 12 of them. But the lean condition wouldn't be caused by coils. If it was, it would be very, very expensive. It would be over $1,000. Luckily, it's just a PCV. Actually, it's a pipe network. When you buy the whole thing, it's a PCV valve and all the plastic pipes and everything. That'll take care of that. So we have quite a list of things to go over and get an estimate to the customer. We got transmission leaks, we got CV boots leaking, we got the rear of the transmission, we have the clunking front end, we have cracked PCV system. Quite a lot of things we need to go over. So definitely want to show you this really sweet VW Phaeton. We don't see these a whole lot. They're a very rare car, and I like them. I think they're very, very cool. It's kind of under the radar. When you're cruising in this thing, people see it go by, oh, there's an old VW, but in reality, they don't realize what just went by, and it's a very, very nice car. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this Phaeton, or really any other cool car in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut, and we really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there are so many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.